What about this? Terp profiles will not be required on the packaging.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a good move for flower?
Ultimately, I do. I, as a consumer, really like to know what's in the product. I think it's good to know. I also think it's good for consumers to be educated on, like, it's not the strain, it's the terpenes, as we heard talked about in the past.
Say that again, Steve. This is, you still can if you want, right?
Yeah, it's just not required. Yeah, and the reason that I think that it's a good idea that it's no longer required specifically is because if you look at meta testing of labs, looking at our labs testing the same terpene content in samples, there's a ton of variety. Even within the same plant, the top, the bottom, the middle parts might have different terpene profiles specifically. So it feels disingenuous to test one part of a plant and then to use that same numbers for everything. Now, of course, people do. I just think it shouldn't be required when it's really not like best practices. It should be to help inform the consumer, to give them ideas, but not to say specifically this has 3.2% limonene or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. No, more authentic. And what I mean by that is if there are growers that will be very terp-centric, they'll probably lead with that on their packaging, and that will help them distinguish themselves. And that's great. So great question. And I also just like the differentiation that it will naturally create versus the necessary need to have it on the packaging.
Yeah, for sure.